Someone can look completely ordinary, simple clothes, an old car, the quietest person in most rooms. Nothing about them suggests they're winning at anything. Then one detail changes everything you assumed. Ronald Read was one of those people. He spent decades working at a gas station and later as a janitor at a department store. He wore old clothes, sometimes held together with safety pins, and drove a used Toyota Yaris nobody looked at twice. When he died in 2014, people discovered he had quietly built a fortune worth almost $8 million while showing almost no interest in looking successful. This is the real psychology of people who win quietly. And by the end of this, you'll be able to tell which kind of quiet you're actually living, freedom, or hiding. Most of us are handed the same scoreboard early on. Success is supposed to look like something: a car, a title, a bigger house, a following that keeps growing. It's a public scoreboard, and anyone can see your position on it at a glance. But people like Ronald Read aren't ignoring that scoreboard because they've failed at it. They're not even playing on it. They're keeping score somewhere else entirely, on a private scorecard nobody but them ever reads. Morgan Housel has a name for part of why the public scoreboard doesn't deliver what it promises: the man in the car paradox. You assume that driving an expensive car will make strangers admire you. Mostly, they don't. They barely register you at all. They're too busy imagining themselves behind the wheel. You paid for the car hoping for respect, and what you actually bought was a few seconds of someone else's daydream. So the real question isn't whether you can afford the symbol, it's whether, if nobody could ever see it, you'd still want it. Quiet winners aren't necessarily rejecting the symbol, they just stop confusing it with the feeling underneath it. But here's where this gets more complicated than it first sounds. Not everyone who stays invisible is quietly winning. Some people avoid attention because they genuinely no longer need it. Others avoid it because being seen still feels dangerous, like it might invite a judgment they're not ready for. From the outside, those two people can look exactly the same. Same modest car, same quiet life, same lack of announcement. But one of them is free to be visible and simply doesn't need to be. The other wants to be seen and is quietly afraid of what happens if they are. If being visible felt completely safe, would you still choose quiet? Staying quiet isn't automatically strength. Sometimes it's just a more comfortable kind of hiding. Quiet winning isn't the absence of ambition either. It's ambition that stopped needing an audience. These people are still working, still building, still pushing towards something. They've just stopped turning every step of it into a performance. Every announcement, every update, every proof of progress post spends time and attention that could have gone straight into the work itself. Quiet winners aren't more disciplined than everyone else. They've just noticed that the energy spent managing how their progress looks is energy that didn't go into the work itself. And the more of your success you turn into a display, the more energy you have to spend maintaining the display. Once people know you as the successful one, succeeding quietly stops being enough. You also have to keep looking successful. So, what's actually being protected underneath all of this? Not modesty, choice, especially over time. The real payoff many quiet winners chase isn't a bigger number on the public scoreboard. It's ownership of their own hours, not running everyone else's schedule, just finally controlling their own. That's what it actually buys. A Tuesday afternoon spent walking instead of performing productivity, more room for the people they actually love, fewer hours spent maintaining something they stopped caring about the moment no one else was watching. Maybe the old car was never proof that Ronald Read was falling behind. Maybe it was proof that the public scoreboard had simply stopped making decisions for him. If you've been quietly building something nobody's applauding, the question worth asking isn't whether people will ever notice. It's whether you've been keeping score on their board or your own. We're still a small channel trying to reach more people who think about things like this. If this hit home, a like, a share, or a thought in the comments genuinely helps. The world may never see everything a quiet winner builds, but that was never the score they were keeping.